That is incredible. Oh, thank God for duct tape. Today I'm going to be testing the 192 HBC bullet out of my 7.62 by 3.9 that has a 308 diameter barrel from Faxon Firearms. It is a 16-inch, and with this short barrel and this big massive bullet, I've only got this running at 2040 FPS, and I've got my sand trap and molding clay set at 130 yards, which is exactly the 1800 FPS barrier where Hammer says that these bullets will not perform under that. So what we're looking for is the shank and petals, and I'm literally shooting through grass, so I don't know if I'll be able to get through that, but we'll give it a good hammer try. I just turned over the box and checked this out. That's the shank. That's awesome. Okay, the question is, that's the entrance, and that's the butt. That looks like a good break. Ooh, that sucker's still hot. That is incredible. Oh, thank God for duct tape. A couple of observations after watching this video in slow motion. In the first freeze frame, look at the image on the right and how streamlined the molding clay blows forward, but also look at how much the container flattens. The image on the left also shows the flattening of the container, but also the instantaneous pop, bubbling effect, or hydrostatic shock. The second freeze frame, the image on the right, you'll notice the sand being completely blown out of the back of the box. In the image on the left, you'll see the box split at a weak point. If you look real carefully, you can actually see the bullet base at the 6 o'clock of the box, just in front of the shadow. In all of my molding clay sand trap tests, this is the first time I've had a bullet completely penetrate through the sand. Pretty incredible for a point of impact being 1800 feet per second. Finally, in the last freeze frame in both images, you can see the back of the container doubling, if not tripling in size. This is the most clay I've ever used for a molding clay sand trap test, but this is also the heaviest bullet I've ever tested, and I'm glad I did that, because check out the amount of clay that got ejected out of there. That's absolutely incredible. This started off at 4.4 pounds, 8 ounces, and I'll reweigh that to show you how much is remaining or how much got ejected out of there. It looks like the expansion started right here. I don't know if y'all could see that line or not, but it bulged right there and it cracked all of that. So that's looking to be right at about, and I did have the clay packed all the way to the top there, right at about 1 3/4 inches. So that bullet expanded really rapidly. I'm gonna guess as soon as that base hit in there, it blew it all out. But what's incredible is how much got ejected out of there. Look at that. That's crazy. And what excites me most is this. Check this out. The bullet definitely passed through here, but there's exit lines through here where, oops, it's falling out, where the petals also broke through. So this is starting to harden, so I'm going to go ahead and dig through here to see if there's any more petals that got caught up in the molding clay. I doubt it. I think because of the weight of that bullet, it literally pushed all of it right through that sand, and I was able to catch the base. Since I'm here already, let's go ahead and weigh these bad boys. Let's zero this out. All right, so the shank itself is 111.26. Okay. And now the one petal is 12.88, and we'll multiply that by 4, I think is typically what happens. But what's really cool about that petal, check that out. I've never seen one curl that much. Do you see that? Isn't that cool? Typically you'll get like a banana effect, but that literally completely curled into itself there. And I'll take a picture, you can see better. Let me go ahead and weigh this and dig out any petals that may be remaining in here. Check this out. Here's the tip. Close up of the shank, petal, and tip. Nice flat square break off. What's really cool is if you look at those lines, that is the minimal contact on the PDR bands of where your rifling is in contact with the bullet. Check out that petal. Very Fibonacci-ish. And there's the tip. Last thing I'm going to do is measure this both in length and at its widest and minimal width on the expansion there. Then we're going to take this out long range as my scope will allow me to dial up. And then we're going to go hunting. 192 HBC.